going to get there. I'm having a look. Are we live? Someone say something so I know that it's working. And I'm looking on my computer. Is it working? Is it working? I got a thumbs up. There we go. We're working. All right. Alrighty. So we are live today because we're going to use scraps and leftovers. Now let me just reorganize my desk because I've got my laptop on the left, because when I flip the phone, I'm not going to be able to see comments. So I want to make sure I can see them on my laptop, and I've sat it on top of a pile of papers, and I feel like that was not a good idea. All right. So I've also got my iPad on my desk. We're going this way. Hi, Carol. Oh, you can join me, Caroline. Yay. Okay, I'm going to put on some light because we've got sporadic weather here today. There we go. Let's have some light. And there's like a 7-second delay, so we'll do a few things. Hi, Sandra. I'm so glad you're here. Alrighty, so this all started when I was skulking around Pinterest, and I came across a card. Now what I've done is, for a little while I've been collecting crafty scrap project ideas on a Pinterest board. And where are you, Pinterest? There you are. Where's the board? Oh, come on, where's the board? Where's the board? I had it open. Why aren't you open? So annoying. I don't want to search my pins. I want to search. There we go. Alrighty. So I've got this board and I've linked it in the description box. I'm pretty confident I've linked it in the description box. But here we go with some ideas. And I came across this card, and this is what started everything. So we're going to recreate this one today, not using these exact things, but we're going to get like close to it. And there's a few others in that board. So the link for that is in the description box. If you want to go and have a look at that board, you absolutely can. And I do intend to add to it for sure. There's tons of really cool ideas in there that I think would be really good. So I'm used to looking at a camera up here, but the camera's over here. I think will be good for using up scraps. So I've prepped a couple in an old Ferrero Rocher box. And then I went live last weekend on my Facebook group, Craft with Dawn Lewis, and we made this card. And oh my goodness, yes, Margaret, agreed. Cost of fuel, I mean, what a great excuse to stay home and craft. Yeah, yet everyone has scraps. Everyone has scraps and leftovers. I know this to be true. And look, have I planned out today exactly how it's going to go? No, we're winging it, and I don't know how long we'll go. And hopefully Evie will come crash the party at some point, because the sun is sometimes out and my window still has some sunlight on it, and she might come for that. So this paper pad is over 11 years old. If you saw my video that I put up yesterday afternoon, you would know that I made a video on this channel using these papers 11 years ago. I put the leftovers in here, and then I didn't touch them until last week. These leftovers have been here for 11 years. 11 years. So I think we should do something. Hi, Leanne. I'm so glad you got your we were able to figure out your card swatches. Please send me a picture when you've got them all sorted out. That would make me so incredibly happy. Love to see them. Alrighty, so I'm going to, because I still don't have all my technical ducks in a row, I'm going to flip the phone and we'll see how we go. Prepare myself. I have a creaky chair. I apologize for that. You have them printed. Yay! Excellent. Leanne was the first person to pick up to go and pick up and run through the custom card swatch tutorial course that I have. It's $5 Australian. It's a nice, good bargain. Everything I'm putting out at the moment, bargain prices, because, you know, we're all on a budget this year. And as the title of this one says, so last week, how the title of this video came about, in the thumbnail it says, throw away leftovers. In this economy, I don't think so. I always refer to the leftover paper as scraps. I never really call them leftovers. My daughter came in and went, oh, Mum, look at all those leftovers. And I thought that was funny because it made me think of leftovers in the kitchen and how in this economy we're not throwing away leftovers at all. And then I mentioned that to my friend and she's like, in this economy. And so hence the saying was born. So we're going to have a look and make a few cards. And what I like about the one with the like wonky circles and the hearts, you can make it a twofer, right? So I'm going to show you how I did that and some alternatives. So I'm going to switch. Okay, so it's going to go dark just for a second while I flip the camera. I just don't want to give anyone vertigo. I'm going to flip the camera. It'll go dark. I'll move it and then we'll be situated. There we go. Don't want to make anybody motion sick. That would be mean and we don't want to do it. There we go. All right, so here's some bits and pieces I prepared earlier. Oh. Alrighty. Pardon the cord, that is for my iPad so that we can refer to that every now and then. All right, so when I first looked at that card, a couple of things sprung to mind. The first is to do an exact replica. It's not really an exact replica. I don't have the wonky circles that person had. I don't have the same hearts, but I did have a look through my stash and I found that I have this. It's called Boho Circles by Whimsy Stamps, and I used this one, the second smallest. And when I went looking for hearts, I found this one. It's in the Book Market die set by Mama Elephant. There's a nice heart in there. I like these hearts. I would have done them with the smaller circle, except all four of them are connected and I really needed it to be kind of stand alone. And one day I will find my pliers and take off all these bits. So that's what I used for this. But of course, if you don't have this, you can use other shapes. So for example, these are very cute. And I pulled these from the platform pop-up die by Lawn Fawn. So that's one of the little panels and this little heart comes with it. It can be any shape. And what I realized is when you're cutting a heart, I mean, why not cut a shape and the heart at once? Hence this was born. I was cutting hearts anyway, so I figured why not cut them from wonky circles, right? So I thought that was really cool. Hi, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I hope you enjoy the trains, Sandra. Enjoy them as much as you can. If you need some gifts or anything later, let me know. Awesome. Hi, Anne. Yay. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I'm so glad so many of you have joined. This is good fun. Alrighty, so what we're going to look for, you know what, I'm going to move this, move that light down. Yeah, this is better. This is better. This is good. All right, so let's have a look at the first thing on this one, and that is these. So these are literally just scraps. I accidentally had too many of these printed, so I'm now using them as scraps. And so what I did was I've cut one of these just wonky bits because I knew they would fit in behind my wonky circles and give them some height. So I did a little experiment. Let's pop these all off to here. If I put down a circle white on white, let's put a nice colored heart in there. There's not a lot of drop shadow, right? But if I was to put it on top of something else, it's got a little bit of lift. And then if I was to put down 2 layers of cardstock and then a wonky circle and then a colored heart, and we're just going to pretend that's all in there. Can you see the difference in the drop shadow? There's very little drop shadow here. This has some drop shadow, but this has a lot of drop shadow. because I've bumped it up Jennifer Maguire style by putting some layers of plain cardstock behind. For these cards, like I like the double, but I can't be bothered to cut anymore, so I'm going to do them just with a single behind. So let's stick them all down and then lay them all out, and then, I don't know, we'll figure it out as we go. I also die cut a little sentiment. I think that it's a tailored expressions die. It's really old. I've had it forever. I cut it from pattern paper. I'm in two minds about it. I'm not sure that I like it, but the goal is to use pattern paper. And the point of this card is to put a smile on a senior's face, because I'll be donating this to Homemade Cards for Seniors Australia. And so I think the important thing is to finish the card. Done is better than perfect, right? Hey, Sally, I'm glad you could make it. I'm so happy. Thank you, everyone, for being familiar faces on my live. I just love that so much. All right, so I might just put a little bit of glue around here. I'm using Belly Art Glue in a squeezy bottle. Love my Belly Art Glue. I might actually have to put in an order for some, because my refill bear is getting empty. Alrighty. I figure the easiest way to put these together so that I've got that on the back is just stick the heart down and then stick the other one on top. So let's go through and do that. So I'm sorry, Anne. Did I say Andrew? I'm so sorry. I've not had what you'd call a lot of sleep or fantastic sleep the last couple of nights. So I'm a little, my brain's a little scattered. I knew it was you. I knew it. Why would Andrew be watching? Dearie me. I did try the aged mahogany and it was fantastic. So that was a really good call when I went live last weekend. Thank you for that, spotting that recommendation. Alrighty. So, is anyone crafting with me, or are we just sitting and watching me? Because if you're not crafting along, that feels weird. If anyone's crafting along, like I'm your get it done buddy. If you're thinking to yourself, oh, I really need to get some crafting done, I'll craft with you. I can be your crafting buddy. Alrighty, so more glue. I think I wish I had been a little bit more discerning when I cut these backing bits, but you know what, we're going to make it work. I also couch with, oh, you know what, I wish I was on the couch in my jammies, but to be fair, that's what I did yesterday, so it's probably a good idea that I not do that today, because I did that yesterday. Yeah, this is a good easy way to do it. Like if I stick the heart down on my prop up piece, then add the surrounds. Yep, this is working really well. So yeah, I figured since I'm die cut inlaying, like why not do 2 for 1? So I've got these over here, but then if we look at this one here, it means I've got the white hearts that I cut out of the center here, and we get essentially 2 cards for the price of 1. And I love that for us because, you know, nothing goes to waste. And the wonky circles are surprisingly economical to cut out. I was genuinely surprised how sort of close together I could get them on a piece of paper. And I like this. This is good for those small pieces. You know, the ones that you keep and you think, oh, it's really too small to do anything. But it's not though. Like, look at that heart. Look at these hearts. You can use them, but the trick is you have to use them. I think that's what trips us up, is the not wanting to use them, but wanting to use them, but not wanting to use them. Because what happens if we run out? Actually, somebody posed that very question to me and said, what happens if I run out of pattern paper? Well, I know what happens if I run out of pattern paper. I buy some more. Pattern paper's not going anywhere. Companies are going to keep making it. And besides, before we had all this fancy scrapbooking gear, we just worked with what we had. It is a really good little bottle, Margaret. It's a fantastic little bottle. I really like it. It gives me small amounts of glue, and I've usually got a few of them kind of all over the house. Shh, don't tell anybody that. Running out of glue. That's not going to happen to Leanne. Look, I don't think that's going to happen to most of us. Let's be real. Let's be real. I think most of us are not going to run out of glue. I mean, not going to run out of paper. I'm certainly not. As you know what, I'm going to glue this one down, and then I'm going to show you my green pattern paper. I think I showed it on my live last week on the Facebook group, but I'm going to show it here on YouTube because this is real life. We're doing real life when we are not doing picture perfect. Like the fact that I actually thought ahead to die cut these beforehand. Could you imagine how boring it would be just watching me die cut these? It's boring enough watching me glue them down. All right, so on my bench, and I'm gonna move you so that you can sort of see the scope of it. Here are my scraps. They are in folders, right? I'll get out the green one. The green one is the most impressive. Because I thought I was making good progress and I thought I had used a lot up, and then I found some more. So I use these. I've had these for years and years and years, probably easily 20 years. It's a 12 by 12 thingy, but I like that it's got a pocket. So the small stuff sits up here and doesn't get crushed in the bottom. So I keep cardstock on one side and I keep pattern paper on the other side. And I thought I was done. And then my daughter said, hey, I'm starting to do some junk journaling. Do you have some scraps I can use? And I opened a cupboard because I remembered I had a bag in there. Turns out I had more than a bag, and now this is like chock-a-block. And I keep all these small pieces because I can use them for cards. When we get a little further in, after we put, you know what, after we put this card together, and someone might need to remind me, my memory's not great, but we'll have a look at how I use, where's my bin? There's my bin. How I choose cardstock scraps to go with pattern papers. So the video that I put up yesterday, I showed how I chose ink pad colors so that I was able to stencil this in colors that match the paper. But today I'm going to show you how I choose cardstock scraps to match colored paper. I think it was in February, I think I talked about that paper. Maybe it was January. You know that paper that you've got in your collection that you just hate? Every time you're going through papers, you skip past it because you don't like it. You're never going to use it, so you just keep skipping past it. Everyone's got that paper. I'm sure of it. I'm going to show you how I chose cardstock to go with that paper of mine. Mine is super dusty purple with a weird rusty orange. It's double-sided. It's weird paper. And I'm going to use it for my YouTube video next month. See, I already know what I'm going to do next month. I am loving. I thought I would miss the shop a lot. I thought I'd be absolutely itching to get back to it, but I'm just not. I'm loving using all my stuff and sharing ideas with you about how to use all the stuff. I've lost a circle. Well, I'll borrow a circle from here. We've nearly put them all together. Yay! Howdy. Goodyear Ballpark. I'm going to assume you are in the US because really hot. Wow. I thought you guys were just coming into spring. Or maybe it's in Australia. I don't know. I do know that a majority of the people who watch my videos are from the US, even though I'm in Australia. Maybe you love my lilting Australian accent. I don't know. There we go. Look, I put them all together. Yay. So this is very much like the inspiration card. The next trick is going to be figuring out how we lay this out. I don't want to put all the pink together and all the blues and greens together, so we might need to shuffle them around. I also don't want to have, I don't want to have lots of heavy patterns together and then lots of lightweight patterns together. This is going to take some thinking. Maybe that one and that one. Nope, that, this. Why is this so hard? This is ridiculous. You know what? I think I was going to say I took a picture on my phone, but you're on my phone, so I can't do anything about that. Silly me. Alrighty. You know what? I kind of like that. I think that works. We'll put little hugs on there. This is what I would call a clean and simple card. It doesn't have to be complicated. I'm just going to put, rather than putting glue all the way around the edge, I'm just going to put it on the backing piece, because the glue around the edge isn't going to adhere, and I don't want it to adhere because I want to have that little bit of shadow on it, so that will work. So here we go. We've got card, I was going to say card number 1, but technically it's card number 2 because this was card number 1. So card number 1 with 5 strips. That's it. That's all I used from the paper pad, just 5 leftover strips. Put that one there. Let's put this one here. I also cut these, some of these from leftover accidental swatch prints as well. So now we've got 2 cards from the leftovers, and if you're thinking, wow, we must be getting through those leftovers, nope, we're not. There's still a lot to go. I don't know how long we'll go for. Sally is using unloved cardstock as backing paper to add additional papers. Oh, that's a brilliant idea, Sally. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Unloved cardstock. Yeah. Like that thin cardstock that you, when I say that paper, I'm talking about sometimes the stuff that you find in your stash and you're like, where did this even come from? I don't even remember buying this. That's what I mean. That's the kind of stuff. See, normally, because this was a misprint and I didn't need it, they would kind of end up in the bin, and that's a waste. So instead, see, this is another reason I like these bottles, Margaret. They're just, you can put glue onto some pretty petite die cuts nice and effectively. Little dots, or there we go. Put a hugs down here in the corner. Oh, look at that. We've got one finished. Now, you can probably notice I did a few touchdowns with this before I actually adhered it. If I have any adhesive stuck anywhere, this is a brilliant tool. I think this is one of those things you really only will have to buy once in your lifetime. It's an adhesive eraser. Actually, I don't know if I've got one of these on my Benable board. I'll be sure to put one of these on Benable. Just if you're unfamiliar with Benable, Benable, it's like a recommendations website. I don't have a lot on mine, I'll be real. There's not a lot there because there's not a lot that I think is a must-have, but an adhesive eraser is really handy because if there are any little bits, I'll just rub over it with this and they'll come right off. It's wonderful. All right, so let's finish this one and then we'll have 2 cards done. Who even am I? 2 cards? This is amazing. Ooh, backgrounds for, and I'm assuming you are Shaq's Papercraft. And I think, do you still live kind of close to me? Still on the Central Coast? I actually contacted the local community centre today to see if they've got some, they can give me some dates for hall hire looking at doing another crafternoon. I haven't done one of them in nearly a year, probably a bit over a year to be honest. Certainly since I wound the shop down. When I say wound the shop down, the shop is still there. There are still some things in it. Still a Copic distributor, an authorised Copic stockist, and I have a few of my own branded things in there as well. Just not tons and tons and tons of stuff. So this is one of those big, wide, wonky ones. I don't know what I was thinking when I cut some of these. I'll take a little bit off there so it fits. It's the beauty of the backing. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, look at that. That is as unperfect as it can get. Awesome, Lake Haven. Man, I'm up that way quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, but I do go up that way. Family nearby on that end of the coast. There we go, there's another one. And one of these that I just did, this one, I don't even know if you can see it. It's got 3 little dots here. So when you die cut something and it's got the little release holes that you can, you know, sort of pop a poker through, sometimes they impress on what you are die cutting. Where's my bone folder? There it is. If you want to get rid of them, you can just kind of go over them with the bone folder and flatten them out. When I die cut a lot of these, they actually were kind of scrunched. You can see there's a little line here from when I die cut the circles, and all I did to get rid of them was run over them with a bone folder, because I don't know, sometimes it does just weird things. Now I'm making sure that I've got the dark printing underneath just in case it is seen. It probably won't be seen, but it might be seen. There we go, look at that. One to go. Look at that, we finished 2 cards. That's pretty impressive. Mind you, we've been at it for half an hour. 2 cards in half an hour is maybe not great. But you know what? It's 2 cards. It's 2 cards that are done. It's scraps that no longer are going in the bin. And if you got my email newsletter yesterday, you would know that I not only am using up my card and paper scraps, I'm also using up a bunch of acrylic yarn. I no longer crochet with acrylic yarn. I like to use bamboo or cotton. So I'm trying to sort of use it up, and I was lucky enough to connect with a local wires volunteer. Wires have a contact page for if you have actually made something and you want to donate it. So I contacted them and said, hey, I made a bunch of crochet nests. Do you have anyone on the Central Coast who could use them? And they got back to me and said, oh, I'm sure we can find someone. Hang tight. I'll give them your details if they're in need. And sure enough, I got a text about a week later from somebody who lives not far from where I do the digital mentor volunteering. So I dropped 15 nests over to her, and they're always in need. They look after a lot of baby birds. And so now I've got somebody that can use the nests I make from all the yarn I'm not going to use for personal projects, and it feels pretty good. I mean, I could donate the yarn, just like drop it to an op shop, or I could just get rid of it, but I still enjoy crocheting, but I don't necessarily want to find a place in my house for all the things that I crochet. So I thought, hey, why not make some nests? I made a bunch in 2020 after the Australian bushfires. So I thought, I wonder if they still need them, and they do. So now I have less. Well, Leanne, functionally, since winding down the shop, Leanne's like, where do you find the time? Functionally, I'm semi-retired. truth be told, my kids are adults now. Doesn't mean they don't need me anymore. And my mum needs me a bit more. It's one of the many reasons I downsized the shop. But I crochet in front of the TV at night. It's more productive than scrolling my phone, which I've been doing for a while now, and I decided I don't want to keep doing that. Not really a good use of my time. Here we go. Got our next sentiment. Yay, 2 cards. So those will go in my box for Homemade Cards for Seniors Australia. And our next theme is thinking of you. And anything that like hello, hugs, thinking of you, that kind of thing is what we're going to distribute. It's kind of the thing that we'll give to the nursing homes, to their lifestyle coordinators, and say, hey, if, you know, hold on to these, make a bank of these, and then, you know, when you've got a resident who's having a bit of a rough day or needs a bit of a pick-me-up, this is what these cards are for. Look at that, 2 cards, yay. And they've got like a little bit of drop shadow to them. So it's not, like white on white's not always fascinating, but they've got that little bit of drop shadow. So we like that. All right, which one will we do next? Well, when I said that I had made a card using this paper before, what brought me to that realization was this. 11 years ago, I did a faux patchwork card, and I thought that I used this paper. I didn't. However, in looking to find out which paper I used for the faux patchwork card, I realized that I had actually used this paper for the following video. Yeah, that is not how I want this to sit. I'll figure it out. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. All right, here we go. I had this all laid out, and it's been sitting happily in a box, waiting to be put together. So a faux patchwork card is great. It's a really good use for your hexagon dies. I couldn't tell you which exact hexagons these are because I've had them forever. Oh, look at that. There we go. Ooh la la. Maybe this one here. This one here. This one here. And I must have put this one here. Yeah, look at that. So this is the first time I coloured the cat from the Fabric Lovers set, which is this one. By the way, normally when you're watching videos, any links down below are affiliate links. All of these, like any stamps or dies I'm using, they're not affiliate links. It's just where you can get them if you want them. The only affiliate links I have are for the Coin Collection sleeves from Amazon, which I use for my swatches. If anyone does choose to click a link and make a purchase, I super appreciate it. Because now I don't have the shop, I've got no income, but I would like, I don't want to be selling people things. I'm really only recommending things I use. Which is what Benable is about. So that's why I have a Benable account, because there's some stuff that I think they're great tools. They're really, really good. But I don't necessarily, I don't want to recommend everything. I only recommend things that I would use myself. Sally, you can make more than 2 cards. Or to be fair, you make a lot more complicated cards than I do. You do scene building, amazing stuff, very cool stuff. How do I want this to sit? I think, let's put the blue over there. All right. So if I get my first hexie straight, then I'm in with a chance to get everything else straight. There we go. That's near enough. Yeah, hexie cards are fun. I did link to I think I linked to a Whimsy Stamps or a Waffle Flower nesting hexagon set. I love me a good nesting set. Nesting sets are great for so many reasons. So many. All right. Not sure if that's right placement, but you know what? Yep, that's near enough. That'll work. Thank you, Margaret. Well, I tell you, it's all inspired by, like when I look at these, the kitty has a quilt. I had to do hexagons, and that's what kickstarted the whole thing, because hexi cards are fun because they just, like, they nestle. You can put them all up like exactly next to each other, but I wanted this to sort of be a bit more of a broken situation, let a little bit of that white space in. I think the video I did with hexagon cards, they all touch, like they were all close together. Is that what I want to put there? Yes, it is, even though it's up against blue. Blue on blue is fine. It's fine. But when you put them sort of all up close together, I did some shading around the edge, and it was really nice. Sort of gives that dipped effect that you get when you quilt something. And 11 years ago, I think I was just getting into quilting. That's what happens when you make friends with someone who owns a quilting store. They get you in. She's very good at what she does. 15-year-old hex punch. Oh, please give it a try, Sally. I bet you have exactly what you need. Exactly what you need. All right. Really, my only requirements for this is that I cover the edges and I try and keep stuff flat. Try. There we go. It's a fun little card. And because it's like partial hexy, it means that, you know, you don't have to cut them. One of the fun things is, though, of course, with hexies, is anything that comes off the edge, you can, of course, then cut it off and use it elsewhere on a card, so to come off another edge. But these ones on the edge, I didn't do a full hexie, so you know what, we don't need to do that. But I do need to know how far the glue goes, so I don't want to put glue too far out, but I don't want to not put enough glue on. Oh, a stitching cover plate. Yeah, that would look amazing. It'd be like a proper quilt. And I love, when Waffle Flower brought out this fabric range last year, I absolutely fell in love with it. Absolutely, it was so gorgeous. Now, with my kitties, what I've been doing in order to inlay the eyes, nose and mouth, I've put that little nose on top of a black piece. I've just put some double-sided tape across the back and then a bit of scrap of a very ugly paper that I will never use. There's that paper, and then there's mega ugly paper. Super dated paper from the 90s that came in value packs. The first time that some of the places, kind of like the bigger box stores, started bringing stuff out, it was just awful. To be fair, when Brandcorp first brought the Martha Stewart range to Australia, some of that was absolutely disgusting. It was so awful, and I have so much of it left over. I wonder one day. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Sally. Dark colours would be gorgeous. Honestly, the only reason I'm doing these colours is because I'm trying to use this stuff up. Now, if the question is, am I going to keep these bits that I'm cutting off? That's a good question. I mean, technically, I could cut some bits out of this. This is too small. That gets thrown away. I know. Who even am I? But you could do this in any colours. And I think the beauty of this for us who have been crafting for a long time, and we have very decent sized stash, particularly with the ink pads. See these little bits? They go in the bin. Can't use those. And truth be told, this is too small. That's going in the bin. But you know what? I do have some things I could die cut out of that. So I'm going to just pop them to the side. I know, I'm insane. All right, we need a sentiment on this. And I'm thinking, I had one I was using the other day, Warm Hugs by Clearly Besotted. Where's my Clearly Besotted? I actually did some rearranging in my office. I moved some shelves There we go. I'm not going to use that. I moved some shelves because I had everything on big bookshelf behind me, all my stamps, dies and stencils, and I had to get out of my chair every time I wanted something, and I didn't like that. So instead, I moved everything so that I could access it. I really like this warm wishes because quilts are warm, but figuring out where it goes, I had this conversation with a couple of people. I was like, not sure where this should go. I don't know why I agonize over it so much. It's ridiculous. It's just a sentiment. It doesn't really matter where it goes. But you know, I know that you understand. So here is my trick. In my Mini Misty, I keep a piece of clear acetate. So we're going to get a slow drying water-based ink, which in this case, and we're going to use a dark colour, but we want something that's going to stay wet and is going to come off. Doesn't really matter where we stamp it. But I'm going to stamp it on the acetate. And while it's not a perfect stamp, it is going to do an important job. This is going to help us figure out where our sentiment goes. This is my hot tip for you today. Now, when I originally came up with this idea, I thought it could go here or here or here, like in the middle of where that is. I could even cut a white hexagon and put it there, or here. Now, the first time I did this, I actually just had the stamp. I just moved the stamp around, but it didn't really give me a good idea of like the actual stamped sentiment, how it would look. So I went for the acetate, and two people, when I was using the stamps, had put it on the blue hexagon. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like it. Now, I think it has to go on the blue hexagon. And I think I will stamp it in a dark brown. I'm not going to do black. Who even am I? And the reason we use a water-based slow drying ink for this, we can wipe it off. That's important. The other reason I have acetate in here, well, this is the reason I have acetate in here. It is because I don't want to clean this stamp when I'm just going to ink it up and stamp it with the same color again. And I want to check that it's in the right place and it's straight before I commit to stamping on this card. So by stamping on the acetate first, I can see that it is indeed centered left to right. I think it's well centered top to bottom. I'm happy with this placement. So now I can remove the acetate, ink the stamp up. Everyone likes it on the blue. Probably end up double stamping it. I really want it to stand out. Well, that looks pretty good. And that's it's a dark brown. I actually had somebody ask me once if I used other brands because they don't agree with Stampin' Up's business model. I have to say I kind of agree. I'm not a big fan of an MLM, party plan situation. But in this economy, we're using what we have. Oh, look at that. I stamped that in dark brown. It's come out, it looks black on that paper. Sometimes you just never know. I guess that's something else that leftovers are good for, but I like that. I think that's really nifty. And I can wipe it off my acetate. See what happens when you stamp with something that is not easy to remove? It stays there. Never use stays on. You'll never be able to clean it off. Where's my other magnet? Oh, there it is. Anyone else lose their magnets all the time? I lose my magnets all the time. Let's give that a little clean. We don't want to be putting away dirty stamps. This is a magic carpet. I've had this over 20 years. I say this is, yeah, definitely over 20 years old. But do you know what's like this? Paint pads from Bunnings. It's this nap stuff. And you want something you can clean with a nice plastic bag. Alrighty, I think we're done with that. Well, that's all I had for prepared cards. I think now we're sort of going to start looking at stuff. Yeah, that is also true, Leanne. You can definitely ink around the outside. So I actually had somebody ask me to send me a picture of a card they were making, and they like, I feel like it's not quite right. What does it need? In its case, it needed a border, but in this case, I feel like my eye is going where it's supposed to go, to here. The black is catching my attention here, and this is catching my attention here. A border is still a good idea, and you could definitely ink around with the dark brown, but my eye is staying on the page. So these are acting as a border. This is acting as a corner border down here. This is acting as a corner border up here. And my eye is going to the sentiment. It's not wandering off the page. So I'm happy with that. I probably could stand to add something else in this corner here. Those little tiny bits I threw away. Remember, I went, this isn't worth keeping. Let's throw that away. I think I need to eat my words. I think I should have not done that. I don't think I can retrieve it from my bin because it's only full of itty bitty pieces. Look, this is my paper bin I keep on my desk. I think they're gone forever. Oh no. Well, let's have a look and see what I've got in the leftovers that I can just pop in that little corner. Maybe there's one I haven't already used. I think I've used all of the papers that I have in my leftover bit. I have. You know what? Let's cut a little teeny corner out of here. That'll do the job. I know that it won't be die cut, but I don't think it needs to be die cut. That is way too much glue. I just want to have a little tiny bit across the corner. There we go. Could I have gone without that? Probably. But will it finish framing out the card? Yes, yeah. Just gives it that little finished look. There we go. Look at that. So far, since I cracked open this paper pad and found all of the leftovers inside, I have made these 5 cards and barely made a dent. I think we might need to get we might need to get inventive. Let's have a look at the Pinterest board and see what's next. All right. Come on, iPad. Oh, there we go. All right, which one should we do next? That was my inspiration. So we've done this one, we've done this one. You know what? I'm just feeling, let's do this one. It's like another hexagon one. Or let's do this one. Let's do the one with the circles. Isn't that cute? Nesting, and this wouldn't have to be circles. This could be any nesting shape. And instead of cutting them all apart, you'd tape them all together. So let's give this one a go. Let's see how we can adapt that. Turn it into a project we can use. Alrighty, so I'm going to need some circles. Question is, which folder or which die storage do I have my circles in? I think they're my oldest die storage because they're my oldest dies. Boy, I've got some doozies in here. Remember when mason jars were all the rage? That's how old I am. They're frames. I don't want frames. I want circles. Circles, circles. Ooh. You know what? Let's go with these. I don't think I've got anything more petite. I'll double check, but I don't think I do. It's tricky because I just reorganized all my die storage. I have all of my dies. Well, not all of my dies. I have the dies that I've taken out and put in onto sheets in an IKEA cart. Ooh, I wonder if that one might be better. No, I do like these. Let's go with these. I do have some stitch ones, but I think we'll go with those. Plus, I've already got them out. So I've got everything that I've taken out of storage and put on magnet sheets, especially like words and sets, like little alternate flowers that get laid together and so on. They're on a thing. And then I've got a shopping board on top of it with my big shot on top of that. I also have my group mat on there because I was using that quite a lot. I'm not using that right now. So first things first, I think we need to get these. I need to figure out how many circles will fit on a card. So let's grab a card base, keep them in these. Ooh, you know what? This is going to make, depending how many colors we do, that's how many cards it's going to make. Oh, this is going to be fun. Now, that card had all of them like evenly spaced, but you could also pull them like this so that you've got like off-center circles. I'm feeling like that could be fun. Should we do that? Let's do off-center circles. Question is, what will fit on a card? I think these are going to be a bit much. Oh, that fits. That looks good. Alrighty, so let's pull them off center. I wonder if that will really look good. It's going to give it a very 70s vibe. You know what? I'm going to go with, it would be more forgiving if I don't line things up exactly. This is tricky. But again, it's not, in reality, this is not a big decision. It's not going to change the world. It's not going to cure something that's incurable. I just have to decide. Let's go with how it is on Pinterest. All right. So I'm going to use some washi tape. Does anyone recognize this? Tragic spotlight washi tape. I never use it for projects, so it is now my die cutting washi tape. And if we tape our circles together, it means that we can cut from multiple pieces of pattern paper. So how many circles will this give us? It's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 5 bits of pattern paper that will fit with this. Let's see what we've got. Now, can I get a whole circle out of that? Nope. Oh, I feel like some of these pieces might actually be a bit small. That one's going to work. All right, got that one. Yeah, these are going to be a bit too small for what we want. Oh, do I dare cut into more paper? Or do I adapt? What do we do? I don't want to just do like 3 bits of paper. That would just be absurd. You know what I think this is a perfect opportunity for? To introduce some cardstock. So, because I have that piece and I can do some smaller circles from some of these other pieces. Okay. But we might need to top it out with some cardstock. This is a great opportunity to show you the way I choose cardstock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only really needed 5 colors. If you're storing your leftovers in an actual piece like this, actually, this is a big piece. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right, let's look at cardstock and how I would choose. Now, unfortunately, there's no other way to do it but put out some cardstock and check it. Do any of these look like they work with this palette? Now, in this case, this one works. See how it works well with this? So I will call that a yes, but the rest are a no. They're not going to work with the palette. There is absolutely nothing technical. Oh, excuse me, going on here. I'm just looking and going, will any of this work with this color palette? And so far, it's not looking great. None of this. You know what? This is close. It's close. It works with this. It's like a darker version of this, and it's really close to that. It's not ideal. Oh, absolutely not. It's not ideal, but it works. That's too lime. It's too bright. Nope. And there's genuinely nothing more to it than me putting cardstock down and taking away the pieces that just don't work. I have so much. Does that work? Oh, you know what? That's borderline. That almost works. Does this work? That's pretty close. Oop, nope. And don't forget, I think one of the best pieces in here is this piece, because if it'll work with these colors here, it'll work. It's pretty close to this. It's not quite what I want, but it's getting there. This is literally all I do when I'm choosing cardstock colors. If you don't have a big stash of leftover cardstock, then it probably won't work. But if you have a lot, if you've been scrapbooking, card making for a long time like I have, this will work. The other thing is little itty bitty pieces aren't going to do it for us here because we need to cut circles. So we need kind of bigger pieces. And sometimes that means you've just got to bust out some fresh pieces, so be it. My goodness. What an odd combination. Nope. 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 Does anyone else have a method that they use? Ooh, awesome. Yeah, bulk it up with cardstock. That is exactly what I'm doing. Some of these are sort of getting close, but not quite. This is another reason we use things, because stuff falls into these folders. Oh, that's kind of close. We're getting there, but I'm not finding exactly what I want. So I might have to just downsize my circles a little bit. But, you know, that's one of the, is the word joys? I don't know if the word I'm looking for is joys. Here we go. One of the fun things about stash diving, you never know what you're going to have. Is it going to work? And this is why I am a huge fan of buying what you need. Did I used to do that? Absolutely not. Do I do that now? Yes, I do. I buy something, it has a purpose now. Very rare I buy something that doesn't have a purpose. So I might just have to do less circles and less, with less thingies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe we just do 4, but 5 is going to look so good. All right, let me put these to the side and let's see what we can do with what we've got, because sometimes you just got to make do. And it's all very well and good to start with a plan, but it's like that movie where the guy from Prison Break says, it's like 5 steps. You make the plan, execute the plan goes off the rails, throw the plan out the window. Does anyone know what movie that is? I don't know what movie that is, but I feel like I should know what movie that is. Let's just see what we can do with what we've got. All right. Now this definitely matches, but I don't know. Oh, it's just like a fraction not big enough. But I tell you what is big enough, and that is this piece. So let's start with this piece and then figure it out as we go. All right, I don't know, will that go through my Big Shot? No, it won't. Now, if I've got something like this and it won't go through my Big Shot, what I'll do is I'll just hold the die on it. And I am not one of these people who will put it in the middle like this. Hell no. We are making the most of our leftovers. We're getting every tiny bit out of it we possibly can. So I'm going to cut around it. Whoops, and we don't want to get stuck on the washi tape, and I don't want to be off the edges. Let's cut around it. All right, just going to run that through the Big Shot. Let's see what we get. Nosy, nosy, cracky, cracky. All right. There we go. That didn't fully cut through, which is slightly frustrating, but near enough. So it should be easy enough to just trim that out with fine scissors. Good pair of fine tip scissors is a beautiful thing to have in your stash. So now we've got 5 of these rings. I don't know if that one, I can't remember, did that one have like a big one in the center, or was it empty in the center? They were definitely closer nesting, and I do wish I had something with a closer nest, but this is what I've got. So this is what we're working with. I like this one because it punches little holes. They don't always punch through, and so if I'm being pedantic, I always keep a sewing pin on my desk. When I'm being pedantic, I'll finish those off, but I think today I'm not in the mood to be pedantic. All right, so we've got 5 of those. Now, let's get 5 of these. We might have to get creative with some of the other circles, so let's see what we can do. Honestly, this would be good with any nesting dies. See, it still hasn't cut through there. I think it's time for me to replace my cutting plate. To be fair, it's been getting quite a workout lately. I have been enjoying a lot of die cutting. There we go. Collection number 2. We really only need 5 of these stacks. There we go, and last one. Pop. Right, what will we try next? I can do this one, but I won't get that outer ring. So that's annoying. The same with that. And what I really need, if I'm not going to get the outer ring, is I need that from a different cardstock. And it's going to be the same with that. That's just like a fraction too narrow. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure if this is the right green, whether I can justify having it in there. But you know what? I'm just going to, because it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be done. Done is better than perfect. All right, let's go. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Quite thick, this one. Need to run it through again. Forwards. Oh my goodness. Backwards. All right, so now we've got 3 colours. Oh, it's still not fully die cut through. My goodness. I need a shim. To be fair, I think this is a handmade paper, so it's a little bit thick. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there we go. I hate to say it, but I think I'm going to have to cut into some fresh sheets. No, Kathy, you found me. Oh, a pink cardstock. Thank you, of course. Why was I only looking at green? Oh my goodness, I feel quite the idiot. Of course, let's look at some other cardstocks. Thank you, Leanne. Oh, slim pickings. Very slim pickings. Very, very slim pickings. Oh, hold on, hold on. Oh, you know what? That's near enough. Oh, thank you, Leanne. I can look at some green. I could also look at some turquoise. I didn't think about turquoise or blue, like a pale blue. Let's have a look in the blue as well. Let's see what I can find that might match a blue. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Are you the right blue? Oh no, you're a bit too purple. Bother, that would have been great. You're a paper, but will you work? Again, not quite right. I know it doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, if I can get it super close, if I can get it right, I would prefer to. Almost not there. I mean, I could also ink up some paper. A bit too purple. Oh, hello. There we go. That was the solution. Other colours. Good thinking, 99. All right, let's give these a go. Find that if I take out any little scraggly bits, I get less damage to my pieces when they're in storage. Now, before I pop this out, let's make sure it really did cut all the way around. Yep, there we go. At this point, I'm going to have more cardstock than I'm going to have patterned paper. But that's okay. I think I can... I think I have some ideas. So if I have leftover frames or circles, I'm okay with that. Here we go. We've got A4, really all I need is an outside ring with this pink. And then I will cut some of the smaller circles from the pattern paper so we've got more pattern paper. It's not all cardstock. Need to put some shims in the big shot. There we go. 2 runs through. For my fellow Aussies who have joined me here, I was talking to Wendy from Homemade Cards for Seniors, and a lot of people are using the Kmart card bases. They're ready cut, they come with envelopes, they're good. Did you know that they are practically A2 sized? So buying letter size cardstock here in Australia is difficult and it's expensive. And I know that it's expensive because I used to order it in, and because cardstock's heavy, it can be expensive. But Kmart, they're what looks like A4 cardstock, and their cards and their card and envelope packs, they're A2, they're American size. Did you know that? Everybody probably did know that. I'm probably the only person who didn't know that. All right, I'm going to take off the outer die and see what I can get with these. So can I cut from these? Oh, yeah, see, that's better. That fits better. Oh, I think this is going to work. Yeah, I'm getting some good vibes from this. This is going to work. So I'll probably just use the outer rings from some of these cardstocks. But, you know, we can layer them in. We can have a play. So by taking off these scraggly bits, it means this is going to get less damage. We want minimum damage. There we go. 1, 2. And chances are that I'll be able to find other cardstocks that go with the leftovers and use those for some cards. No leftovers left behind. That's our creed. Okay, so that's not going to work with all of them, and that's not going to work. So I'm going to take yet another one off the outside. Will this fit? Yeah, look at that. That fits. So let's cut out some stripy paper. We don't want to tear the rest of the paper. Okay, with spotlight washi, that would just be a travesty. Did you cut all the way through? Did, yay. So I think we can do some good mix and matching with all of these. I'm also wondering, like, how long are we going to go for? $20 per 100 pack. Yeah. I think they're a good deal. I think they're a good... because so much of the product, especially cover dies, they're A2. They're all A2. And we don't do that really here in Australia. We have A4. So our card bases are a little taller and a little thinner than an A2. And so cover dies, oh, they're so annoying. But if you've got a lot of cover dies and you're looking for letter size paper, Kmart's got you covered. Their A4 cardstock was letter sized quite a number of years ago. I think I did a short video here on my YouTube channel about the difference between them. And then they made them actual A4, but now they're back to letter sized again. So if you sort of have all those American sized bits and pieces here in Australia, and you're constantly adjusting them for an Australian sized card base, you don't have to do that if you are shopping at Kmart. And let's face it, there's Kmarts everywhere and they deliver. There we go. All right, so I've taken these ones off because I've cut everything that I want. Now, shall we mix and match? Let's mix and match. Mix and match. All right, so, oh, I wonder what is a good way to do this. I think I'm going to... take everything out and just leave my biggest of each. So that's step 1. Remembering we really only need 5 of these bigger borders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are smaller. So I'm going to put them back together because, yep, there we go. Back together, back together, back together. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's very Olympic. It's almost very, it's very Olympic. Look at that. Oh. All right, so we want to mix and match. So let's put this here because it's got some pink in it. Let's put this here. This here, this here, and this here. All right. Now the next circle, I'm going to give priority to the patterned papers, and then especially where there's already a cardstock in the inner circle. That can go there, that can go there. I'm going to put the blue here because we've got blue on this beautiful cream one. And then let's put, stripy one there. Ooh, ooh la la. No, let's put that stripy one there. Let's put the pink one here. All right, so I've got 3 in each. I've got 2 to go. Now, I wanted to prioritize these. Would that look good there? Well, that's, I don't want that there. I think we're going to get some extra cards out of this. So let's put this one here, this one here. Oh, that brightens that one up. I like that. This one here, this one here, and this one here. Oh, and now we've only got centers to go. I'm going to go stripe, dot. So we've got something different in every single one. That one there, that one there, and that one there. Oh, look at that! Oh my goodness. So I've got enough rings left. I think we can mix up a few more, so we can give that a bit of that, and then that. And then if I wanted to switch something out with something plain, I could put that in there and then put that in there. For this one, this can go here, and then this, and I could swap out, what, I could swap out the pink, put the pink there, put the blue there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Just because they're smaller doesn't mean that they can't be used for cards. I think that that is looking fantastic. Now, the other thing that this card had going for it is it had some embossing. It had an embossing folder background, but it just had a strip of it. That's one thing I've not really played with, is strips of cardstock, like just strips of embossing. I know there's a way to do it. I can never remember what it is. So I'll probably end up doing a full embossed background, but you know what? That's okay. We're all right. Let's go with this one. This is an old Sissics one. I don't have it in its original packaging, but I've had it for a while. It's like another wonky circle, and I think it'll play nicely with these circles. Yeah, I think that'll work really well. All right. And the question is, do I just emboss this, or do I put it on a panel? Or do I put a strip of something down here that's embossed? Ooh, the possibilities. The possibilities is what slows me down. I think we all know that by now. A strip of something. I can run this through sideways. What if I just open up my card base, put it partially in, so it does about 2/3, close that up, it's not going to take it all the way to the bottom, but you know what, I'm going to turn it around so that it looks like the heavier dots are at the what I really want is for this to be longer, because I want those dots down here to the filtering. I wish that would work the other way. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a panel. I'm just going to do a white panel. So, white panel, cardstock, not quite. I wonder if I could tear a piece. I bet I could. I wonder how that would look. That would be interesting. When I buy my cardstock in A4, I cut a lot of it down to A5 and just keep them so I can just fold them in half and turn them into card panels. But in this case, I think I'm going to make a panel. Does anyone else have one of these and find that this isn't a great right angle? Like, it's not perfect. It's a little wider here than it is here, and have to tilt it just very slightly? Or is that just me? I'm curious. Oh, a scoreboard. That's really good. Yeah, my cardstock. My card swapping. Yeah, I've done a lot of cards. Yeah. Strips on a scoreboard. I don't own a scoreboard. However, I do own 3 different trimmers. I have a guillotine trimmer, I have a rotary trimmer, and I have a sliding blade trimmer. This is an old Martha Stewart one from back in the day where I did some demonstrations, and you can use this as a scoreboard. Now I've cut a couple of panels. I'm going to try one with embossed panel, one with a torn embossed panel, and I'm going to try one where I just score directly onto this. Love that. Thank you. This is why I like doing the lives. This is great. Everyone can sort of give their 2 cents. Love that. All right, and I can use the measurements on here as well. So where's my bone folder? There we go. You could do this with a stylus or a bone folder. So if you don't have a scoreboard, you can just use this. Look at that. I know it's going to be a deboss rather than an emboss, but I'm cool with that. If I wanted to, I could flip it. You know what I am? I'm going to flip it. I'm going to turn it around the other way. Look at me go, making decisions on the fly. Who even am I? Bam. So I'm going to deboss it. I'm going to emboss it from the inside. Oh, sorry, that's terrible noises. I'll go 1/2 inch, I think. Are they 1/2 inch or they 1/4 inch? I don't know. Just moving up the numbers. 1/4 inch. Just kind of want enough to go behind the circles. Just gives it a bit of interest. Oh, look at that. Magic. How many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Would 7 look better? I don't know. You know what? How big is the biggest circle? Yep, more is better. So let's move you again. I think I'll do 3 more. So I've still got an odd number. Like I said, I don't know why odd numbers work so well. They just do. 2 and 3. There we go. All right, so let's give that a go. Good call. That's exactly what I've done. I've scored it from underneath, so it's raised. Alrighty. Now, I've put that picture away. I, for the life of me, cannot remember exactly what that looked like. I think that they wrapped the circles with some twine. But to do that, we'd have to maybe stick it down on some printer paper. Like stick it down on something first, make it a bit more sturdy. So what I'll do is let's flip these over, pop some double-sided tape on the back so we'll get them nested. Actually, you know what? Let's just get the outer one. Run some double-sided tape from here to here, nice and taut. A little more up here. And flip it for the other side so everything can sort of hopefully nest in. Can leave the paper on the back. So let's see if we have success with this, shall we? There we go, one circle. I mean, the easiest thing to do would be to start from the center and then put it down on some printer paper and then add the circles going out. But I'm adding the circles going in because if there's a difficult way to do it, you bet I'm all over that. There we go. There's a whole piece. That looks cool. Now it's one piece. It's going to be easier to handle. Oh, that's so cute. So twine. What have I got for twine? Ooh, I bet I've got something. Let's look in the brown and cream embellishment box, see what I've got. Ooh, I'm seeing some itty bitty rickrack. Got some ribbon. Got some hessian. I've got some paper ribbon. They look great. All sorts of cool stuff. Is that a good colour? I don't know. Ooh, got some yarn. Got all sorts of stuff in here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see that. I used to store everything separately, and then, oh, you know what? That's kind of cool, but it's a bit pale. Twine, twine, found twine. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Now, I don't remember exactly how they did it, but, you know, I'm going off memory here. I used to keep all of my embellishments in separate boxes. So all my yarn was in one box, all my ribbon was in one box, all my flowers were in one box, all my brads were in one box. You sort of see what I'm doing. And then I went, you know what? I'm making such a mess. If I'm just looking for brown, I'm going to have to get out every box. So I rejigged it so that everything brown just was in the brown box. Now, if I wrap that all the way around, I'm going to waste a lot at the back. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little bit more here, and that's also going to hold that down at the edge. Peel up my release paper. Now we've been going for like an hour and a half. I'm going to say we might wind this up by about 1 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, but I'm also then going to put some more tape over the top of it just to hold it. And then I can run that around the front. Pop it here. Put a little bit more tape over the top. There we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas. I think they ran 2 pieces. That would have been smart if I'd done that before I stuck these down. But it's all right. We can make it work. I can make it work. Lift that up. Put that there. Come on, Dawn. You can do this. Put you over the top. Just put that release paper back there just for a second. From here and give it a crossover like that. See, once again, we've made the plan. Now we throw away the plan. We're doing something else. And I'm just trying to remember how on earth it was done. I can't quite remember. There we go. So I want that to be all secure at the back. Look at that. And then I can just take a little bit of this twine, pop it through here. How much will I need for a bow? I can do a bow from a very small amount, and I refuse to cut it until I get the bow correct. There we go. Ooh. And you can do a bow without actually doing a knot, which is good. I'll never understand the YouTubers who cut a huge length of something, they tie a bow and then they chop tons off the end. Like for 2 bows, they could get 3. Alrighty. So I'm kind of happy with this. We've got a cute little bow. Can even make the loops a bit smaller. There we go. Lovely. I'm going to take off all the release paper. We'll stick it down, but I'm going to add some liquid glue as well, just because the twine is pulling up the edges. Ooh, a round sentiment in the middle would be good. I won't do that with this one because I've got the twine, but I will do it with one of the other ones where we don't use twine. That's a very good idea. Oh, now I'm going to have to find a round sentiment. That is something I don't have on my spreadsheet. Can you believe it? I haven't put down shapes of sentiments. That feels like I've made a terrible mistake. But that is a very good idea. I'll have a look and see if I've got any round sentiments. All right. So I'm going to put that one on. Ooh, got a glob of glue through there. I'll take that out. Before we do anything, we make sure that our card base is right way up. I'm going to add that here. Oh, look at that. Cute. I'm also going to pop a little bit of glue under that bow so that it is stuck down to here. It doesn't get caught and sort of fling up. There we go. Look at that. It's clean and simple. I'll give it that. Very clean. Maybe not simple, but it's very clean. I feel like I need to take another look at the inspiration card. Ah, here we go. They have an embroidery hoop with a sentiment inside and then some flowers. Now, I don't think I have any tiny wooden embroidery hoops, but I do have a mini embroidery hoop die from waffle flower. That might look good. It's very heavy over on the right, and I've put my bow here on the left. So let's see how I can adjust that embroidery hoop. I like it because it's round as well. Let's look at the W's. See where my waffle flower is. Embroidery hoop die, wax seals. Oh, I know I've got an embroidery hoop die. Where did I put it? I think I took it out of the packaging. Put it in the storage bin. If I thought about this earlier, I would have had it out already and ready to go. That would have been smart, but I didn't. I wasn't sure which one we were going to make. There are so many more cards to make. I feel like we could do this again, and I should just keep going live until we run out of paper. Does that sound reasonable, or do I sound completely insane? Oh, there they are. All right. So that's the waffle flower embroidery hoop, guys. They came out with them years before Lawn Fawn did. I do enjoy them. And this one, I mean, that's kind of big, but this one looks little enough that it's usable. That's cute. Look at that. If I feel like that's too big, I could really just whittle it down a bit and make it a little smaller. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's why I had these ones pre-cut, because I had like before I even thought about going live, I was cutting them to do an actual video, and then I went, no, I think I'll save them for a live. So yeah, kind of need to think about what I'm going to do and prep it. But I reckon if I prep another one, live to 200 to run out, and I think you're right. I think you're definitely right. All right, to go with this, even though I don't have that stripy paper in here, what works really well is this dark color. So let's have a look in the brown. For me, with my brown papers, they share with cream. Let's have a look and see if I've got something that is almost a burgundy hue. That work? Ooh. Have I done it straight out of the bat? Or do we go with like a metallic? Ooh, do I even own a metallic? I know I've got some holographic to hand. I know I've got glitter. I don't think I've got any metallic. Would that be better? Ooh, yeah, that one's better. That's definitely better. When I moved things from my Hot Mess Craft desk cupboard here into my office, the very first thing that I moved was the scraps, was my scrap folders. But this, oh, look at that. Cut out of there, we'll cut out of here. Oh, yes, look at that. Love that. Love that for us. I can make a little embroidery hoop guy. Ah, cute. Super cute. I'll need to cut that again to get a center though. Or I might just cut something that's a little bigger. I'll use this as a template, and I'll cut something a little bit bigger that can sit in behind so it looks like it's got a little bit of depth. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Cut something with a little depth that can go back in the scrap doodad. White. Not a lot of room around that. Do I always keep white bits and pieces on my desk? Yes, I do. Oh, look at that. There we go. That's a ticket. Yep. So I'm just going to hold that there. Make a background. Then I can stamp sentiment on here. I've got to find something small that's going to fit. Where am I going to find a small sentiment? Look at that. Look at that. That fits perfectly. Wow. I love it when a plan comes together. Look at that. Of course, I could do a darker colour and then like a heat emboss, but I don't want to fire up the heat tool. It's a bit loud. Small sentiment. Oh my goodness. I have so many sentiments. Clearly Besotted have lots of tiny sentiments. And this isn't really having a feature image put with it if we're going with inspiration from the original. So let's have a look. I'm going to have a look through my Clearly Besotted sets. They have lots of nice little sentiments. We might find something here. Want something sort of a thinking of you nature. Well, that's Halloween, so no. If I'd done it in oranges, Hello My Little Pumpkin would have been great. Have a Blast. That would make a good birthday card. Ooh, this is a good Get Well card. We've got Be Strong. I wonder if that would fit. Ooh, that one fits. That's cool. I could actually add a little bee. What else have we got there? Too big. It's Christmassy. Let It Snow is definitely not Australian. Oh, it's your birthday. I wonder if that one would go. Not exactly round, but it fits, and I could add a bird to this. What have I got here? Wish Big. That would also work for a birthday. Huh. And I've got Fa La La La. It needs one more, isn't it? Fa La 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 La. Yeah, it needs an extra La. La 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 La. Maybe I could just do a bunch of Fa La Las. I could do Wish Big and it could be a birthday. But if it's being donated to seniors, do I want to tell them to wish big? I don't know. Ooh, it's a pickle. What a pickle. Okay, what else have I got? Some nice ones in here. Are they small enough? Miss You fits, but it's not right. I like Hello there, but I would have to split that in two. Stamp Hello and there. Thank You doesn't quite fit. So far this is the winner. It's the one to beat. It's tricky finding sets that have really small sentiments. I do like these Darcy's Heart and Home. Oh, fraction too big. That's a shame. Huh. What about this amazing set? I wonder who designed this. Well, I definitely can't do U50 Death Zero. That's not cool. It's your... Even I did these a little too big. Like I said, a small sentiment is hard to find. Yay fits. What a conundrum. Ooh. Wonder if this one will feel better soon. Oh, it's a little tight. Hey You, that fits, but it is also a little tight. But that gives me hope that I might find something in a Tracy Hayes set. Ooh, hello. Are you going to be too big? It's going to be too big. But that's still readable, even though the Y is a little bit chopped off. I kind of like that. Ooh, the Hello. You know what? We have a winner. Ding, ding, ding. Hello. It's tight, but it works. And it sort of fills the circle rather than just being a line across it. Thank you, Tracy. Oh, certain somebody's going to have to put all their stamps back in order later. I wonder who that's going to be. Oh, wait, it's me. I'm the one who's going to have to put their stamps back in order later. Oh, me. There we go. Oh, the other thing I need to do also is make my little note about which set I'm using today. So what's this? Tracy, hey, just a note. One of the things I'm doing this year is every time I use a stamp set, I'm adding a little card and putting a little check mark so that I can see how many times I use various sets this year. See what my favorites are, see what's not getting enough love. I think it's a good idea. Put that in the middle of our circle. When I finish this card, we might finish up, but I think I will go live again and we'll do some more, but I'll be more prepped next time. How does that sound? Is that a plan? I could move a little further this way. Yeah, that's good. Is that a bit more centered? I don't know. The downside with having acetate in here is it's slippery. So it moved when I didn't want it to. All right, let's stamp this. I think let's stamp this in a color, because stamping it inside a dark frame, I think let's give it a nice vibrant color that's going to look good with these. Well, lipstick is good. Festive Berries is good. I think let's go with Festive Berries. We'll go use the oxide. See, I swear I use these color swatches every single time. Festive Berries Distress Oxide. Where would that be? That would be my Distress ink box. And I just heard the magnets latch onto that. Lo and behold, magnets. Oh, am I the only person who loses their magnets? Sure, I'm not. I would go with the regular Festive Berries. I think the color is a better match, but oh, a heart is a good idea too. Thankfully, we've got so many of our circle collections here that I have just knocked out of order. Dawn. That we can do a bunch. So there we go. Ink that up. Festive Berries. Distress Oxide ink. Hello. Oh, look at that. That's bright and happy. I like that. Always put a clean stamp back in our storage. I'm going to keep this set out because it's got some nice hearts in here that I think would work well in that as well. So I'll stamp up a few more. Don't have a lot of twine. I'm going to have to hunt around the house, see if I've got twine hiding in my kitchen. I don't know who thought twine was for the kitchen. It's clearly for the craft room. Awesome. There we go. I'm a big fan of putting things away as I go, because otherwise it's too much to clean up at the end of the day. Am I the only person who feels that? I used to just leave everything out. Oh, it's too much. It's too hard to clean it all up at the end of the day. I don't want to do it. Alrighty, so we'll put a little bit of liquid glue around the edge. Pop the embroidery hoop over the top. Look at that. That's so sweet. Liquid glue is definitely the go here because I've got that little bit of wriggle room. I can just sort of slide it down a little bit. It's a little bit too much space at the top. And I've also got a little bit of white cardstock showing here. Not that it's the end of the world, but I'm just going to take that off. Yay! Yeah. I wonder if I can tie this on with the bow tails. Let's have a look at that. There. I don't know that I love that. So I think I'll untie that. I might just, I know I stuck that down, but I think I can lift it up. I can. I'm just going to lift that up. So I'm going to sort of hide that under there. So let's get this one stuck down. We'll have one more look at the reference piece, but I actually feel like this is a complete card. Put that there. Back a little bit more glue on there. So got that sitting right under our bow. Magnificent. Look at that. It's a piece of beauty. There we go. Alrighty. That's not bad. I've got enough to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more cards with circles. I might do that on my own time. Did we come close to the inspiration? I don't know. It had a few little die cut flowers under there, but you know what? I think because we've got the busyness of the pattern paper, we don't need that, and I don't want the sentiment to get lost. Now we could probably add some gems or some pearls, maybe some spatter stamping around this, but for a clean and simple card, I'm going to call this one done. I might experiment with the others. I'm going to try doing some embossing folders, try doing like some torn strips, a few different ways of putting this together, but it didn't come out exactly like the inspiration, but that doesn't matter because it got us started and we made and we finished a card. There we go. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of us. We did such a good job. Awesome. All right, now we do, Sally. Okay, so I'm going to go to black, flip around. Hey, there you are. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you joined me today. Thank you so much. I know we've been going for ages and ages and ages. I think 2 hours is quite sufficient for a live. I have had so much fun. Thank you for being here. For those who are hashtag replay, I hope you enjoy the process. Now I know if I do some prep work beforehand, I can get more cards done. So let's go with that. But I think I'll go live again. I'm going to try and schedule these a bit more frequently. Maybe do like an hour so we do shorter lives, but more often. How does that sound? I would love to know how that sounds. And we absolutely, so Sally, it's funny you should say we need a day of cutting and stamping and stuff. I actually emailed the community center this morning to see if they've got a Saturday in April or May where we can have a crafternoon. So anyone who's local to me or within driving distance of the New South Wales Central Coast, sort of mid-coast near Gosford, over the last couple of years here and there, I've done these crafternoons. We run from 10 in the morning till 8 in the evening. So you don't have to have a super early morning if you're driving from 2 hours away to get there, and it also means you get home at a reasonable time, but it's a good chunk of time for us to do that. And now that I don't have the shop, I can actually sit and craft with you, and I'll be making half tables available. So you can opt for a full table or half table, because if you're doing something that's targeted, you don't need to spread out and have that space, and that means we can have more friends. So there we go. I saw this morning Homemade Cards for Seniors Australia. Did you know we have distributed over 79,000 handmade cards Australia-wide since they started in like 18 months ago, which is just wild. It's amazing. I've picked up a second aged care facility that's fairly local to me that I can send. I'm dropping some Easter cards into them next week, so that's exciting. I've still got a lot of pattern paper leftovers left. So there's a link in the description box below here to a lot of stuff that I used today. Nesting circle dies, like nesting circles and nesting circles, if you've already got them. But this could be done with other shapes, hearts, Easter eggs, squares, rectangles, diamonds, triangles, like anything nesting. You could definitely do this. Tape them together and have at it. And then there's also a link to that Pinterest board. So if you sort of want to have a look, I haven't got a lot of pins on that one yet, but I'm adding to it as I find cool things that can be done with leftovers. But I'm going to give a few more of them a try. In particular, we're going to try this one, this one, this one. We've done this one, we've done this one. I want to try this one. I've done this one. I also want to try this one, this one, this one, and this one. And that's just from the paper I've got left. So we'll see how we go with that. I do like this. It's like strips of coloured cardstock that have been run through an embossing folder and then added to a card. I think that's fantastic. So I'm going to have a look and see what I can do. I will post a photo on my probably Insta and over in the Craft with Dawn Lewis Facebook group of what I do with the rest of these circles. That's going to be the rest of my day. It's going to be cool. If you would like to join me for my next live, I'll schedule it. I'll put it up. I'm going to start running them at different times. They'll generally be in the morning because it works well for Australia. It's kind of early in the day, beginning of the day for us, but it's towards the end of the day for those who are in the US, who are actually like the largest demographic that watch my videos. So before I'm tempted to continue to waffle, because I've really enjoyed having company while I do this today and someone to talk to, I appreciate you joining, and we will, for the locals, if you want to know when there's a live event, let me know if you'd like to be included. I'm going to set up a local email list so that I can let locals know. If you want to donate to Homemade Cards for Seniors Australia, we have over 50 collection points now in every state and territory of Australia, so you can contact Wendy and see if there is somebody near you. There is a page on dawnlewis.com.au that says Cards for Seniors. Click on that. There's tons of information, including the email address, so that you can contact Wendy. And I'll see if I can manage next weekend. I have to check my calendar, but we'll see how we go. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to sign off. Have a wonderful day. Happy crafting, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.